This is CKMS, 102.7 FM in Waterloo Region, radiowaterloo.ca on the web.
After a night out with your friends, there are always options for getting home safely. You could call your BFF, your mom or dad, whoever you can count on for a safe ride home. You could call your favorite cab company or 1-888 taxi guy. Or you could use the Arrive Alive smartphone app to help you choose your ride. Be it a friend, transit, or taxi, getting home safely is app easy. Now available for iOS and Android devices. Visit arrivealive.org to find out more. Arrive Alive. Drive sober.
This is CKMS, 102.7 FM in Waterloo Region, radiowaterloo.ca on the web.
Like what you hear? Why not drop a line at www.radiowaterloo.ca? Or if you would like to request a song, check out Radio Waterloo on Facebook and Twitter. Or call us at 519-884-2567. You are listening to the new 102.7 CKMS FM.
Oh man.
What's got you down there, DJ Denim?
I'm totally bummed. I never got accepted into my broadcasting program.
Aw, buddy, that sucks to hear. Why not?
Just applied a little too late this year, you know?
Yeah, man, I hear ya. But sometimes life can get bad. But it's not always bad, because here at CKMS, we can help you out.
Really? That'd be awesome.
Yes, of course, really. We've been serving the community for the past 40 years. That's how long we've been providing a voice for folks like you in our community. Just check out radiowaterloo.ca and click on the Start a Show tab.
Well, thank you, Radio Waterloo. CKMS FM. Rockin' Waterloo.
Afternoon, Kitchener, Waterloo, and listeners from all around the world. This is DJ JD. Oh, we're getting a call here. Hello?
Hello?
You got me?
Yep.
You hear me now?
Can hear you.
All right. There we go. Perfect. Thanks for calling in, buddy. What's up?
Oh, just same old stuff. Nothing new to report.
Where do you going by? Where do
we going by? You can call me Joe.
Call me Joe. We got Joe, the NASCAR Guru and proud American, calling in the show for our
That's right.
CKMS Wide World of Motorsports season review and 2020 season preview. Make it sound all special.
You got to.
We're just starting off the show here. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. You might be listening to us on www.radiowaterloo.ca/listen worldwide, a mobile-friendly Rogers Digital Cable Channel 946, Southern Ontario, or 102.7 in Kitchener-Waterloo. And we're in the studio for the next little while here. Going to be talking about the NASCAR season. Not that's it, just NASCAR. No, it's Wide World of Motorsports. Just NASCAR.
The way I like it.
The way I like it. So big year. Big year,
indeed.
It was the 71st season and the 48th Modern Era Cup Series season, and it was the 5th of the current 10-year contract with Fox and NBC. So we're still watching it on that, and Busch is the winner, of course, at Homestead. We all know that. After there was a good race, and then there was a couple weeks back. You watched the end of that. I did.
I did. Yep. I saw it. I mean, it's always amazing how the Cup champions, like the Final Four, has always produced a winner of the race. If that makes any sense. The winner of the race is always a Final Four participant.
Truex, Harvick, Hamlin,
and Kyle Busch, of course. Just 18 team pulled it out when they needed to. They hadn't won since earlier in the year, and they were clutch performing. That's for sure.
He was a couple years back in 2015. He had an injury, and he missed a few races that season. And that was when he had won his first championship.
Yep, he technically locked himself in by winning at Sonoma that year. NASCAR granted him a waiver, and he delivered. So,
yeah, and Logano didn't. He fell short this season, and that was whatever. I don't think anyone lost any sleep over that.
Yeah, I think people expect him to probably do better than he did this year, but he had a couple wins throughout the season, but just obviously wasn't as dominant as those Joe Gibbs Toyotas. So, and
the Joe Gibbs Racing, obviously they dominated a lot of that season. They're probably, I don't know if they won the manufacturer or the team championship or whatever.
Yeah, Toyota won the manufacturers championship. Yep.
I think, was it Hemrick? He got Rookie of the Year.
I believe so.
Yeah. And
I'm not quite too sure.
Reagan and Menard, it was their final season.
It did. David Reagan and Paul Menard. That was their final year. Reagan won at Daytona back in 2000. He won back in Daytona a couple years ago. And then he won at Talladega. I think it was in 2013. I think the spring race, I believe. And then Paul Menard, his lonesome win was at I think it was the 2011 Indy, where me being a Gordon fan, it was very hard to swallow because Gordon, if he had another lap or two, Gordon would have beat him in Indy. But it is what it is. He won the race, and that's Paul Menard's
been around for a while.
lone Cup win. Menard's been around, especially in the Xfinity Series, for a while. Moved up to RCR for a while. And
over 10 years of Cup racing.
Yeah. I mean, he's been around with Menard's flag for his whole career, basically, and he's calling it quits. So
it is what it is. Yeah, and that's what happens. There's more new guys got to come in. They got to have some space for other people, for other drivers.
Yeah, I think some of these guys, they get. I'm sure. They've been racing since they were in their, single-digit years. And you think about it, that's a lot of racing when you turn 40-something years old or whatever. You know what I mean? So it's 30+ years of racing, and these guys get families, and they get to that little point where they want to spend time with their family, and racing obviously is they get like one day off every week, if that. So, and it's all year round. Like, we have like a 2-month off season, and that's it.
That's kind of why Johnson. We'll get to that later, but that's kind of why Johnson is going to split from full time. So yeah, that's what happens. It's just the cycle, right?
It's the cycle of racing.
The beginning of the season, though. Willie B. He was
William Byron getting the pole. Yeah, the Daytona. That was Another historic pole
yeah,
run for the number 24.
Yeah.
24 cars, usually pretty good at Daytona on the pole.
Was he the youngest again? Was that the record that he set?
Ooh,
Something like that?
I'd have to say so. He's like 20, isn't he like 21 or something like that?
Hamlin was able to hold off Kyle Busch, so it was looking like he had a piece.
Denny Hamlin getting his
stage,
second.
So.
Denny Hamlin winning the second Daytona.
Blaney won the
500.
second stage. I was excited about that.
Jimmy, we got to talk about Jimmy a little bit.
We'll get
winning that Flash race.
Oh, yes, that's
right.
right.
We'll get
That's
to
right.
him obviously.
Yeah,
but,
that's right. I forgot about that. Thank you.
But kind of wrecked the whole field. But I mean, a win's a win, I suppose, right? So
Spun Menard, and it was the big one.
It was the big one.
Collected Busch, Kozlowski, Harvick, Boyer. That was a good race. Oh man, I love those Speed Weeks races. The Clash, the duels.
Great because you've had an absence of over 2 months without NASCAR, and it
makes me get that excited feeling.
It's like Christmas as a kid.
And then so where did they go to next after that? So that was.
And they went to Phoenix, correct?
Atlanta.
Oh yeah, Atlanta. That's
Round
right.
2.
Yep.
Holds Bond or Quick Trip 500.
Yep, Atlanta. Then Keselowski won that race.
With the flu.
Martin Truex not too happy with Stenhouse, I believe. Lap traffic.
Oh, so yeah, it was kind of the beginning of their little feud of the year.
If I remember correctly, yes. Yes, it was. And we head to Vegas.
Yep.
And, yeah, that was a good race. I was there.
It was a Penske...
It was a Penske
show? The Penske charity show?
It was a Penske charity race, basically, but I think that wasn't that the monumental win for Penske?
Yeah,
if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
I can't remember how many.
There's a number thrown in there.
I want to say it was wasn't it like 200 or something like that?
that?
I'm not too sure. I can't remember.
And then they
exactly,
took that on to the next week.
Yeah,
Blaney had the pole for Phoenix.
Indeed. They Penske looked very strong coming out of the gates
At the beginning of the season, for sure.
Beginning of the season, yes. And they kind of tapered off a little bit.
I remember being pissed because Kyle Busch won that, and it was looking like Blaney was. And I was already like, whatever.
Yeah, but
and then, so they were doing their West Coast swing at this point, obviously. So now they're going to the Auto Club.
Yes,
Austin
absolutely.
Dillon coming out of nowhere. Nowhere, but his tire goes down in the first stage.
Yes.
Kyle Busch
We
showing
got to talk about
dominance
Kyle
from
Busch
there. Yeah,
winning Auto Club again.
even though he
I
had a
think
speeding penalty.
I think his last win before that was, at least at Auto Club, was a couple years before that. That infamous finish between Joey Logano and Denny Hamlin a couple years back when Hamlin hurt his back. Of course, that was Kyle Busch's 200th
That was the big tie.
NASCAR
Yeah, that
win.
was the big, in quotes, tying the record set by Richard Petty. But that
200th
was
NASCAR win.
I had a little bit on an episode. That's I've done an episode on that. My opinion on that, but that's another. I think that's
Another,
a different record.
what do they call another tub of worms, so to
comparable.
speak?
Yeah, but that's just a little quick bit of my opinion. But so the next week, Martinsville.
Love Martinsville.
Love Martinsville.
Great
Chase
short track.
Elliott, that was his second win of the season. Jimmy Johnson got his first pole the next week at Texas, or the next race for round 7 at Texas.
Chase Elliott won at Martinsville?
No, Brad Keselowski won at Martinsville, holding off Chase
There you go.
Elliott for the
There you
second
go.
win of the season.
There you go.
Jimmy Johnson had pole. Yeah, no, he got the pole for the next
Texas.
race, the next
Mhm.
win at Texas. And who's that one? Kyle Busch again? Hamlin?
Yeah, hold on a minute.
It was Hamlin.
That's the
Held off Clint Boyer for the second win of the season, so that was Hamlin's second win.
Let me look through my notes here.
For sure. It was
continue.
it was for sure. That's what it was for sure. But yes, you can confirm. The next round, round 8, Bristol. Chase Elliott, looking good for him. He started off on the pole. Harvick, he had to start to the rear because he failed pre-race inspection. Stenhouse Jr. got into Kyle Busch with Arik Almirola also involved in that wreck. It was a wreck fest. Blaney led the most laps of that race. Elliott spun from contact from behind toward the end of the second stage and lost power steering. In the final stage, Kyle Larson made contact with another car, got in a wreck with Willie B. Hamlin. I remember that. That was a long, drawn-out race.
Yep, absolutely.
It was there's late cautions. Most of the leaders came to pit road and a few stay out. Gave Kyle Busch, which it was a Busch show. Brother versus brother, which is that was exciting. Even just not being a fan of either of them, that was still pretty exciting to see, for sure.
Then we're at Richmond next.
Yeah,
correct?
Richmond was round 9.
Richmond, yes. Richmond was Truex stunk up the show there. Let's be honest. Obviously won that race. Great showing by Clint Boyer. I think he finished top 5.
He did do good this season. He did deserve a spot in the championship.
Yeah. I think my personal opinion, I think Clint Boyer's on borrowed time. But who knows? I mean, I don't know. That's just my personal opinion.
Chevy hasn't gotten a win yet at this point of the season.
Nope.
It's already April, late April.
Till we go to Talladega.
Yep. Dylan, his second pole of the year. What happened to him? I was like, it wasn't it for him. He had a good beginning of the season. That was it.
Austin Dillon, I don't know what to say about him. He's got a well-renowned team, obviously. At least it used to be with Richard Childress, but obviously the Chevy camp is a little bit behind. We only had, I think we only had 7 wins in 2019. I think most of those are Hendrick guys. So
there's a big one on that race as well. There's a lot of people taken out at the end of the race. Kyle Larson, Jeffrey Earnhardt, William Byron, all getting together. Stenhouse, Ragan, leaving it for Chase Elliott and Alex Bowman to obviously Elliott winning that race, getting his first win of the season, and Chevy's first win of the season.
Chase Elliott obviously going to be, like Adele Jr., winning most popular driver every year until he retires, I'm sure.
I think, is the awards today or something like that, or sometime this week?
I think it's this weekend, I believe.
Something like that, yeah, so we'll find that out.
It's no contest.
Probably.
Yeah.
The Gander RB 400, Dover, round 11. That was, I think, one of the races that were the first race of the season that really impacted by weather.
Obviously, Jimmy Johnson, we'll talk about him a lot today. Obviously a favorite every time going into Dover, but he was pretty much non-existent.
Right, yeah.
Finished 14th.
Truex got the win.
Bowman finished second. Larson third.
Next week, Kansas.
Sweet Kansas, yep. We
Round
all
12.
know what happened there. Yep, Keselowski winning that race. Bowman. This is the stretch of Bowman's second place finishes.
Right, okay.
He won, I think he got second for like 4 weeks in a row, if I recall. And everyone was saying he was going to win, but I mean, once we get down the line, I guess we'll obviously share that story that he finally did.
Keselowski getting another win for Penske early in the season, early-ish. Getting midway through the season, though. because it's All-Star. It's All-Star time.
Talk about the All-Star race. How about Kyle Larson winning that Open?
Yeah, that was good for him because it wasn't an official win, as in like for regular season, but it was a win in the sense it was like, he hasn't won in a while and he needed that.
The Open is very do or die. We've seen some great Opens in NASCAR history. We've seen a couple years ago, we saw Larson and Chase Elliott battle on the finish there. Chase Elliott getting the win, I think, of the Open. That was a couple years ago. That was when he was driving the 24 car. But Larson getting that win in the Open was that's any win, regardless points or not. It's going to be. It's going to be.
I always love the All-Star race.
But I mean,
and then it's still good.
In the All-Star race, that usually happens. I think the last time that happened was with Newman back in 2002 or something like that. I think 2000. It was one of those years. I can't remember, but it's hard to because you got. I don't even think can they repair their cars in between those races or not? I can't even.
Yeah, I don't know. It depends. It depends if the race officials will let them, I think. That might be a yes or no question. I don't know.
But I'm not quite sure. I'm not going to be that guy.
He was looking like a favorite going into the Coca-Cola 600.
Yeah, absolutely. Riding that high line, right? But
got loose in the back straightaway and spun. Took the Dillon brothers out, Boyer and Priest.
Martin Truex stealing the show yet again for another Coke 600 win. I think that was the second. Remember back in 2016, he led literally every lap of that race. And sorry, someone's horn's going off.
That's okay.
But yeah, he dominated that race, I believe. But hopefully someone's gonna figure that car alarm out.
Hold on. Pause it. Damn car alarm. It stopped right when you said it.
Finally, somebody fixed it. Gee.
So we're going into Pocono. William Byron started in pole for the second straight week and led until the competition caution.
Because it rained there, I believe, the day before.
Something like that, yeah.
So I can't really remember, but Kyle Busch obviously taking that win.
On the restart, Larson got into the wall, had to pit at the end there. So Busch held off Keselowski for his fourth win in season, third at Pocono.
It's funny because Kyle Busch hated Pocono. He's at least before the last couple of years, until he won his race. Now he won his first race at Pocono a couple of years ago. Now he's there almost, but he hated Pocono. It wasn't too kind to him, but he took home the win. Keselowski finished second. Hamlin with the top 10. Eric Jones finished third. So, pretty good run for the Joe Gibbs guys again.
Then we're going to go into Michigan for round 15, which was put into a Monday because of rain. I don't remember if I probably somehow watched it. I think I did. Somehow. Probably figured out how to get off work. I don't know.
Pretty
Maybe
sure.
I called in sick.
Remember the Logano show, and it was
Yeah,
more
it was
or
a
less.
show, yeah.
It was almost like a Talladega Daytona-esque race. It was all about drafting, and which Michigan is famous for. But it was more apparent that week. Logano led a lot of laps. I don't know the specific number, but I remember he basically dominated that race.
Yeah, I think I remember wishing I didn't get that day off work. And then the next race, round 16, Sonoma. Truex led the most laps, took the lead of Kyle Busch for his fourth win of the season, his third at Sonoma, and the first since Jeff Gordon to win consecutive Sonoma races.
Chase Elliott, I remember, had a really good car, and they had a mechanical issue. Obviously, when we go down the line, he's really good at road courses.
Oh, yeah.
So
A lot of time on the sim. Next, Chicagoland, round 17. Austin Dillon, another pole. Jimmy Johnson took the lead, and the caution came out for rain in the area. It was red flagged, the race resumed. Kyle Busch got into the wall. Kevin Harvick held off Chase Elliott to win the second stage. Harvick got loose, got in the wall. Bowyer spun. Alex Bowman took the lead and had a big gap on the field until Kyle Larson was able to run him down for, obviously, there's lap traffic, slowing them down.
It looked like Kyle Larson was going to get that one. I mean, it was... I would have...
This was a big race for Bowman, so...
Okay, Larson's got this win. There's no way he's going to get past. And then Alex Bowman...
This was his first career win on the line.
First career win for Alex Bowman. He did a great job. I did not expect him.
I remember how... I'm not trying to... I'm just saying how he reacted. I remember how he reacted because we race chatted that. And it reminded me of a sim, like celebrating. You were clapping your hand, like.
it was great to see. It was great to see Alex Bowman win. Like, I mean,
especially the 88 back in victory lane.
88 back in victory lane, first time since Dale Jr. won in Phoenix, which the race I was at, 2015, rain shortened race. I saw Dale Jr.'s last win, so I'm kind of proud. So, but first time victory lane for the 88.
And then. The next round.
The Coke Zero.
The final summer Daytona Coke 400 race, which was postponed from Saturday to Sunday, so it was just like a normal day race.
Yeah.
So that was a little disappointing. And then it was ended because of weather. And it was because of the lightning clock. And something to do with that gave Justin Haley the win somehow because he happened to be in the lead. They gambled to stay out.
A win's a win, right?
Yep.
I mean,
that was only his third start too.
I was a little upset because I'm a Willie B fan. He finished second. Johnson finished third. I think that probably was the best finish.
At that point for him at the season, that was like whoa.
Yeah, I mean. Looking at the stats right now, Ty Dillon.
Johnson did start picking it up mid to late summer.
He did.
We started seeing him more in the top 10. You started hearing him on TV more. I was even talking about him more, like stuff like that. Like he was picking it up, and then they made the crew chief change. Eventually, we'll get into that eventually.
That was interesting.
I mean, third crew chief and what?
Changing to the chief would have been his third crew chief in literally a year.
A year, yeah.
So, Ty Dillon getting fourth, Corey LaJoie sixth.
For New Hampshire or Kentucky?
I'm talking about Coke Zero still.
Oh, okay.
So, I'm looking at stats right now. Matt Tiff got ninth. He's out. So we're going to talk about him for a second. He's out of his ride for next year due to seizures. That sucks. He had a brain tumor a couple years ago.
Well, he's good though.
He had a brain tumor a couple years ago. They fixed that. I remember that.
But he's gonna focus on his life now.
You gotta put that health first, man. Regardless. So, but on next week, okay, Kansas not Kansas, Kentucky. Excuse me.
Yep.
And that was a great finish.
Logano versus Busch.
Kentucky was between Kurt Busch and Kyle Busch.
Oh, that one too. Okay, yeah.
A race restart. I remember watching it.
That's right.
Kurt Busch passed his brother on the last. I think it was a green-white checkered. I believe. I could be wrong, but
yeah, because Bubba Wallace had a tire go down and spun, so it went into overtime. Yeah.
Went into overtime. Kurt Busch got that win. That was really good. That was
that was entertaining. Both of their little duels this season.
Yeah.
And then Loudon. I don't even remember. I think I fell. I don't remember watching it. But I watched it, but I wasn't awake.
I do remember, because I believe Hamlin was winning the race. He was leading, and then Kevin Harvick came up, gave him a little bump, and then that was it. Harvick ended up winning that race. Matt DiBenedetto get top 5. Matty D get top 5. So for another.
Then we're going into next week, round 21, Pocono V2, second Pocono race of the year.
Denny Hamlin, of course, winning that race. I remember Eric Jones. It was
Was that the one where Blaney and Jimmy got into each other and then they had to talk at the end of the race?
No, that was Watkins Glen.
Oh, okay. That was the next week.
Next week, yeah.
That was the following week. Okay.
4 of the Joe Gibbs drivers getting in the top 10. Denny Hamlin first, winning the race, and then Eric Jones second, Truex third, and then Kyle Busch finished in 9th. Willie B finishing 4th, Larson 5th. So it's a different. It was a different race.
Another win for Hamlin. Then we're going into Christopher Watkins Glen. We're going to be looking at Chase Elliott dominated and held off Martin Truex Jr. for a second win of the season and second straight at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, it was almost like a repeat of the year before, except it wasn't that huge of an exciting finish like last year. But
and that was when. Sorry, I cut you off.
Very good.
There's delay.
So last year, Chase Elliott beat Martin Truex barely.
Yeah, right. So it was almost like the same. It was like a repeat almost of the.
It was a repeat,
right.
with again winning on top.
Cool.
Then Jimmy Jam pushing him.
Yeah.
Down. So
yeah. But Jimmy had spun with Blaney, and that was when Johnson kind of went up to Blaney, and there was some crap talked, and then the next week they had beer or whatever.
A little bit of altercation between Jimmy Jam and Ryan Blaney, but which is rare from Jimmy.
Round 23, Consumers Energy 400 at Michigan, so the second Michigan race.
Mm-hmm.
Joey Logano held off Denny Hamlin for his second win of the season and second consecutive at Michigan. And at this point, everyone's starting to look at what the chase is going to start looking like, what the playoffs are going to start looking like.
This was Harvick's first win of the year, you're correct?
Oh, yeah. Harvick took the lead from Logano and held off Denny Hamlin for his second win of the season.
Yes. Really? I thought that was Harvick's first win of the year.
Yeah, he took the lead from Logano and held off Denny Hamlin.
That was because Harvick's first one was in New Hampshire. Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
Okay. This is when Harvick was starting to heat up, of course.
Yeah. Next week, round 24, Bristol night race.
Mm-hmm.
Blaney got into the wall along with McDowell, Reagan, and Johnson. Matty D. This was like when he blew up on the internet.
This was the infamous Matty D race where he should have won that race, in my opinion. But Ryan Newman, of course, kind of being, Ryan Newman and racing hard.
Kind of screwed him. Matty D would have probably won. It would have been bumper to bumper, but he would have won.
Matty D was battling Newman was trying to battle for his lead lap. And
ridiculous.
And then Hamlin came in and he won that race. And this is when people were like, okay, Matty D is definitely the real deal. So.
Yep. And he blew up on the internet after that.
Yes,
then
absolutely.
We're going into the elusive throwback race.
Oh, I remember I was in Texas. I was at my brother's place.
This is good, Larson.
Took a nap during the day, and luckily the race was delayed. And I woke up right before it started. Got to watch the whole thing. In my opinion, Willie B with the best throwback scheme with the Days of Thunder City Chevrolet. It was run
that's right.
Old Trickle back in Days of Thunder. But he unfortunately got wrapped up in a wreck with Jimmy Johnson and I can't remember who else, but That was the middle of the race, but Eric Jones got that W, his lone win of 2019, in his late model throwback that he had. He had a paint scheme commemorating his late model days, and he won that race. So congrats to him.
Yeah.
And so
the next week, round 26, Indy,
Indeed, yep.
which will be at a different time next year. So this was another like final of when it's going to be.
Yep, the final time Indy's going to be the
regular season finale.
Yep.
This was Harvick won the second stage under caution. Kurt Busch slammed the wall along with Menard, Kligerman, and Johnson.
Jimmy Johnson,
first time Johnson. That was it for Johnson. It was the first time he couldn't make the playoffs. That was it.
Yeah, that's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, Johnson had a good car, and I think he was a little too aggressive, in my opinion. But
well, he was, yeah.
You do it. You got to.
Yeah.
I mean, it was still somewhat early in the race, but I mean, you got to be aggressive when you're trying to.
Harvick won that race, though.
Kevin Harvick won that race.
Third win of the season. Mm-hmm. And then we're going into you were there, Vegas, round 27, South Point 400.
The old Vegas race. Yep, I saw Martin Truex dominate that race.
Yeah.
It was Martin
win of the
Truex
season, punching his ticket into the next round of the playoffs.
Yeah, Martin Truex was really good towards the end of the season. He was good all year long, in all reality.
The next week, round 28, Richmond.
Yep, and Martin Truex again, stinking up the show. That was his Richmond sweep of the year.
Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick clinched spots in the next round from that race as well. After the race, Jones, his car failed post-race inspection and gave him a last place finish, making it the first time ever that a driver was disqualified under the new inspection rule.
Yeah, I mean, if that car would have passed inspection, he probably would have been in the next round, possibly.
Yep.
But didn't work out that way. So
next week, round 29, Roval. It's my favorite race of the year.
The old Roval. Yep, I did not see that race. I was working, but old Chase Elliott.
Yeah.
After wrecking early in the race, going through heartburn turn, just slid those tires right into the wall there, and then he ends up winning the race and does a burnout.
Pretty good after this recording session here. A little bit of a Roval action.
He was did a burnout.
That's a great race, man. That's a great race. Oh.
He wrecked, and he straight to see Chase win. Like I said, he's really good at road courses. He probably, in all reality, he probably should have swept them all. Other than Sonoma. Sonoma was a mechanical issue, but he's really good at road courses. So
the next week, round 30, or the next, I don't know if it's week because there could be weeks in between. The next round 30, Dover, final race of the year, Dover.
Kyle Larson took that win.
Yeah, that was good.
Should have won back. I believe it was 2 years ago. I think it was Johnson's last win. That restart, they had a caution at the end there and gave Johnson the win. But Larson's pretty good at Dover too, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him win there next year either. So
the following round though at Daga, man, that was one of the best races I've ever seen.
That was a good. That was
between
a good
2 days. Because of the thunder clock, the lightning clock thing, Blaney, who on Monday started stage 2 with him leading the field to the green. With 3 laps to go in the stage, Logano bumped Bowman.
Didn't he have a pit road issue or something?
Something like that on the...
Or the day before, whatever.
Yep. So the day before it wasn't looking good. Then he was able to come back. And then... Boyer won stage 2. And then already the first big one had already happened at this point. The second big one happens. Brendan Gaughan, he had a crazy flip. He went flying.
He landed on his wheels.
Yeah.
He did that.
All fours. Blaney led the field back to green with 3 laps to go on the last lap. With Newman was leading when Blaney made the winning move, bumping into Newman, causing a photo finish. On the replay, it showed Blaney beating Newman by 0.7 seconds, locking Blaney into the round of 8. And that was the 6th closest finish in NASCAR history.
Most of those are restricted plate tracks, other than Darlington finished back in 2003 with Kurt Busch and Ricky.
Yeah.
So, then we've got to talk about Michael McDowell. He got a top 5 in that race, so good run for those guys.
That's right. Round 32, Kansas.
Denny Joe.
Yeah. Held off Chase to Kyle Busch to win the race. 5th race of the season. And then that kicked out Keselowski, Bowman, Boyer, and Byron. And then round 33, Martinsville.
Go Mark Martinsville. Yep.
Truex held off William Byron for his 7th win of the season, capturing a spot in the final 4.
Between Byron and Truex, absolutely. It was looking like Byron's first career win, but unfortunately it was not to be. So,
round 34, Texas. Harvick got on the lead lap at the end of the race there. Even though he was down from a pit road penalty, he went a lap down. And then he took the lead from Almirola, drove to his 4th win of the season, and capturing a spot in the final 4. Following the next week, the following round 35, the last time that there will be the second last race of the season will be at Phoenix. Next season will be the last race.
Let's talk about the week before. Denny Hamlin wrecked on the front stretch, and it was almost all but over for those guys. Championship.
Oh yeah.
But they're going into Phoenix. It was a do or die situation, and they did it.
Yeah.
They punched their ticket into Homestead, and
that was it for everyone else. Elliott, Blaney, Logano, Larson.
But talk about Elliott's.
Yeah,
Elliott's,
right. He had to
terrible last round there, round of 8.
He was very early in the race. He had to do something there, and then that was it.
Mechanical issue after mechanical issue, and I have to share something from Twitter. So Ryan Blaney is going to be sponsored by Advanced Auto Parts for a couple of years, I believe. Ryan Blaney tweeted, this is Ryan Blaney's quote, "Look forward to chasing the checkered flag with Advanced Auto Parts in 2020, end quote. And then Chase Elliott chimed in, quote, "Have fun overpaying for your trashy looking spring and heavy ass rear view mirror. When they break, head over to Napa Know-How," end quote.
Nice.
And then Ryan Blaney quoted back, quote, "Chase Elliott, you must have had your Napa parts on the 9 car the last month," end quote. It was a friendly jab at each other.
Yeah, because they're best friends, so that's all.
Yeah.
They're not like serious.
Making fun of Chase Elliott for having mechanical issues the last second to last round of the round of 8.
Yeah.
So that was good. That was a good little jab at each other. And
round 36, Hamlin started on pole because qualifying was canceled due to rain. Truex won the first stage, while Kyle Busch won the second stage. Truex went a lap down after a pit road miscalculation with the tires, as one of the tire was put on the wrong side of the car.
Let's talk
crazy.
about...
That was it too. That was it for them. That was the deciding factor.
You never hear anything about that. Like that. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, that's crazy. Out of all the races, that happens.
Like,
and of all the cars, you never hear that.
It happens to be the most pinnacle race of the season.
And one of the guys in the championship 4, it just happens to be that. Like even rookie teams, all the teams, like that doesn't happen, but you see it happen with that.
Oh, gosh, like I mean, like I can't even fathom how.
I think someone rigged it. Someone probably switched it on them without them paying attention.
I don't know. I don't know. I couldn't tell you what it was, but like that's a huge screw up. That's with these guys, these pit road guys, they're ex-football players, ex-college players.
Like that, yeah.
These guys aren't stupid. These guys are smart, but I just don't get how that happened. Like that's, and you never hear about that stuff. And that's just for the championship race for Truex. It was in that race. Like it's amazing.
Yeah.
That happened.
John Hunter Nemechek had a tire go down and spun, and then Hemlin went a lap down after trouble on pit road while overheating due to too much tape on the grill. So somehow the guy had an extra chunk of tape on the grill. So even more pit road screw-ups somehow.
Yeah, I mean, I get what Hamlin's crew chief was doing. They were trying to get as much as they can out of the car. Unfortunately,
they put it in the wrong spot or something like that, right? Or whatever.
It was too much tape.
Oh, like too much tape. Okay.
I mean, yeah. At the end of the day, you could have put the grill tape over more to the left, where it was
something
still,
like that. Yeah.
But it was covering the body too. Like it's, you know what I mean. But it's, I think that just that mistake. I think Hamlin probably could have won that race.
Yeah.
If.
But I didn't watch the end of that, the last 2 laps of that, so...
Yeah, Kyle Busch getting the win.
Cable went out.
Yeah, okay. Right. Kyle Busch winning his 2nd championship. This one was a little bit more legitimate. But,
he had the most top 10s all season. He had the most laps led. He had the best average finish.
Looking back at it, he had, this is my notes that I wrote down. He had 27 top 10s.
Yep.
Which is pretty damn good, but, you know, me being a Gordon fan, I gotta talk about this. The record is 30 by Jeff Gordon back in 2007, which is a stupid amount of top 10s. Think about it. There's 36 races and 30 top 10s. That's
yeah.
A year back in 2007. And me being a Gordon fan, he should have won that championship, but things were different, of course, points-wise.
Flip a page.
Yeah, I got some pages there. But yeah, Kyle Busch winning his 2nd championship. It just, you know, I don't know. Like, it's, in my opinion, if we're looking at driver performance and wins and stuff like that, in my opinion, I think Denny Hamlin should have won that championship. But it is what it is. I mean,
there's a lot of other cool things in numbers. 3 drivers led over 1,000 laps in 2019. So Busch, Martin Truex, and Brad Keselowski.
Mm-hmm.
Corey LaJoie was the only driver to compete in all 36 races and not lead a lap.
Yep.
Newman led the fewest laps of any playoff driver. He had 19 circuits. The playoff driver with the 2nd fewest laps led was Clint Bowyer at 138. So that's Newman somehow didn't lead. Those are probably like laps where he was waiting to pit. They're staying out. Just 19 laps of
like fuel strategies
or
that were
whatever. Yeah.
Yes. Logano and Ty Dillon are the only to finish every race. The lead lap per se when they finished those races, but they finished. I could be wrong on this stat, but I think Hamlin had 19 top 5s, which is really good. Kyle Busch top 10s, like what we were talking about earlier with 27. Let's see. What else? What else do you get? What else do you got there? What else we can talk about here?
Newman, even though he didn't lead as many laps, he gained the most positions of any full-time driver per race. He had an average qualifying position of 19.9, an average finishing position of 14.4. So, he's obviously he's a veteran, and he's a good driver. So he's obviously going to have a stat like that. I mean, who else is, right?
He's been very helpful for Roush Fenway, who is currently, I wouldn't say current. I think they've gotten better this year, but they were searching for an identity. Stenhouse is not producing numbers. And then we talk about Trevor Bayne. You know, he wasn't producing anything really. But they're trying to find their identity. It's too bad that they're not as important as they used to be with Matt Kenseth and Mark Martin and Carl Edwards and all that stuff, and they've kind of fell off the radar. But I think Ryan Newman's been a great addition.
Yeah,
those guys. Stenhouse going to 30. Is it the 30? No, is it 37 car he's going to?
Something.
No,
like that.
Going to the 47 car. Which is no, never mind. Sorry, I was gonna tell you fake news there, but
it's some fake news.
Gonna talk about guys coming in to different rides next year.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
Viewership. We're in more numbers. Viewership numbers down. From the peak of the sport's popularity about a decade ago, obviously, but they're actually not that much down from last year or the year before. It's only by a few hundred thousand. So when they say it's down, it's only down by a little bit, and those are from the freaking legit whatever SoundScan stats or whatever they're called. And that could have obviously, they always put in things into perspective, like other NFL or college games or whatever, right?
But it too, it's what numbers are those of streaming? What are those, just cable numbers?
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Or whatever.
But
I'm sorry, not a very popular opinion, but it is what it is. It's the Dale Jr., Jeff Gordon, Tony Stewart effect.
Yeah, I saw a graph or something like that about it just went down since Gordon was in the Final Four.
Yeah, I mean, it's you got drivers that are leaving that are like Tony Stewart, Gordon Jr. You just don't have that star power like we had in
Johnson.
Johnson, that's
it was huge.
Yeah,
that was the day after the season ended too.
It was. I was surprised, the way I listened to Dale Jr.'s podcast and the way he sounded. He sounded like he wanted to race at least 2 or 3 more years.
Yeah, and then he said that's it.
Announced his retirement after 2020, and
because of the full-time kind of deal, to be competitive for 36 weeks of the year or whatever he said. So
more of a family deal, but unfortunately, again, that's gonna hurt. I think the ratings might be better this year because people are gonna tune in.
Yeah,
and listen.
We'll see maybe similar,
but
not as big as Jeff, but similar.
I think because Jeff went through the 90s and Johnson didn't, but
right, yeah.
90s were the peak of NASCAR, right? So I mean, I don't know.
And then they talk about who's going to take it, who's going to fill the 48.
I have a good idea, in my personal opinion. Kyle Larson is. I'm sorry, this is just my opinion, but Kyle Larson is through Chip Ganassi through 2020.
Interesting.
And then he doesn't have anything after that.
Maybe.
So
that's a possibility.
the deciding factor is, will Rick Hendrick be lenient on Kyle doing his dirt track racing?
He probably wouldn't care, because I wonder if Gordon would say, let's get Larson in there. And Gordon, he's going to end up taking over Hendrick anyway, so like he probably wouldn't care about the extra stuff.
And Larson's a big fan of Gordon, so I'm sure
that's going to weigh in potentially, right?
That's you mark it right here. This is my prediction.
This is the sound bite right here.
This is the sound bite right here. I predict Kyle Larson being in that 48 in 2021.
Boom.
Right.
There
That's my.
We'll pull the clip up when the day it happens.
Because he's not producing at Chip Ganassi. Like, I mean, Chip's it's a good team. Don't get me wrong. Like, he won obviously this year, obviously with Kurt Busch and Larson, but just even though Hendrick is not, I think it's a Chevy thing in my opinion.
Possibly.
I think Chevy's been really down and out this last couple of years, but like, why wouldn't you want to drive for Rick Hendrick?
Well, I think it's going to be a closed deal. Not like it's going to be retired, but if Johnson's going to come back, where's he going to race? And is he going to race with anyone else? I think he's going to still race with Hendrick. And is he going to stay in the 48? And they'll bring the 48 back. Is he just going to race plate tracks? He's, whatever. Maybe he wants to do a Dover, or maybe he wants to do a road course, or whatever next season, or for 2021. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. They're going to keep the 48 for him.
I don't know. I don't know.
That's my opinion.
That's a tough decision. I never thought Jeff Gordon was going to drive Dale Jr.'s car.
Yeah.
Who would have thought of that? I would have thought Gordon was 24 till the day he quit racing. I never thought he would have jumped in that 88 car, but he did. Like, nothing's off limits.
And that was the biggest. That was huge news. The first day, after the race, or the season ended, boom. The Monday, Johnson says that's it, and it's like, wow. He said that Hendrick was going to ask him at some point between now and January or whatever, and then it was just like, boom, right after. Apparently he's been thinking about it for a while, for a month or so.
I think Jimmy has had the same mindset like Jeff did. Jeff, from what I remember seeing, Jeff was more like, okay, it's more of a contract or sponsorship contract type thing. Obviously, Gordon had a lifetime contract to Hendrick. Jimmy Johnson has the same exact thing. I'm pretty sure Dale Jr. did too. I mean, but I'd obviously have those guys' contract, a lifelong contract for those guys too, because they bring in the money, right?
Yeah.
So, but I just don't see. You can't have. I think the only time you can have a fifth car for a team.
I thought they got rid of that entirely.
I think I don't know. I don't know. It might be different, but I remember the only way you could have a fifth car is if it was a rookie /
or that.
Yeah, I think if it was like a rookie only doing part-time.
Yeah.
The only thing that I remember, because the last time that happened was back in 2015 with Hendrick. They had Gordon
and then
Jr.
chasing the 25.
Yeah, they had
sweet.
Gordon, Johnson.
That was a
Case
sweet team.
Kane as the 4 drivers, and then they had Chase Elliott as a
sweet team, man.
But I don't know if they've changed that or not. I'm not too sure.
Well, other changes. So Johnson started that right away. The talk for 2020 already started, and some of the things we already do know is the championship race, and some of this things in the schedule have changed, like Homestead to Phoenix, the new ism.
Which I don't understand it, but I guess highest bidder.
Ism selling out though, and if it can sell out for the second last race, it can sell out for the last race, and
Yeah.
maybe ratings will go up, because I think it's a little bit of a better track for a final race.
It's more non-cookie cutter.
Yeah.
Homestead is, since they went to their typical, like, bank track back in 2003, like, it's more cookie cutter, mile and a half, right?
Mm-hmm.
Phoenix is more, whatever. It's more untraditional, so to speak. In my opinion, this is my opinion, no one's gonna like it, but having a restrictor plate track at a Final Four race would be, people would tune in my opinion, because you don't know who's gonna win it. Like, it's more unpredictable. But the fact that they're adding, like, the race, like the schedule.
Daytona's changing. The traditional July race is moving.
It's great that they did that. They have Daytona as the final race of the regular season.
Yeah.
Which is great, because it's going to add more excitement.
And then Darlington will be the first round of the elimination round of the playoffs.
In the first round, great.
Pocono gets a doubleheader, which still isn't exactly clear on the details.
I don't understand, like what happens if you... I'm assuming that they let you have start, obviously. Obviously, that's going to be a different thing, obviously, but obviously, Pocono's kind of, I think, dying as far as people going to the races over there, so that's why they did that. Martinsville night race, that's going to be huge. That's going to be that's going to be a great race. I think they did a great job on the schedule being resorted. Like, I think they did the best that they could, as far as, you got to factor in seasons and got to factor in the weather and all that stuff. And I think they did a really great job.
There's going to be a 2-week break in July and August.
That's going to be different.
For the Summer Olympics, which are on NBC.
Got to cater to those, right?
Another big change coming in 2021, but you'll see throughout 2020 is the development of the next-gen car. And apparently, sometime by the summertime, everything's going to be all said and done. Teams will start ordering cars, and we'll eventually starting to see actually some more official stuff sometime in the next few months for that next-gen car. But there will be a few rule changes in 2020, but mostly to cut costs. So teams will have 12 active chassis available. Because there was no limit before, but is it really...
Yep, it was an infinite. You can have whatever you wanted. Mm-hmm. But then there's testing.
Yeah.
Or wind tunnel stuff that I remember hearing about.
So teams will be allowed a maximum of 150 hours of wind tunnel testing. There was no limit on that either.
Really not that much if you think about it. It's really not that much. But they're trying to cut costs down. I get it. Whatever. Let's move on.
Road crew, on-track road crew rosters have been reduced from 12 to 10. That includes team members such as crew chief, engineers, mechanics, shock specialists, tire specialists, and a spotter, but not the 5-member pit crew. Those guys are safe.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't agree with that. Excuse me. Sorry.
You're good.
I don't like that. I don't know. I get it. They're trying to cut costs. They're trying to cut payroll, all that stuff. I get it. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't agree with it.
It's whatever. But new faces. We're going to talk about that. You wanted some new people coming in. Some more young drivers making their full-time Cup debuts.
No Paul Menard, no David Reagan.
Right.
Matt Benedetto's taking over that 21 car. Penske affiliate team. I'm again, this is another sound bit, but I expect Matt DiBenedetto to win a race next year.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
Guystown.
Yeah.
If you look at Bristol, like we talked about earlier, should have won that race. It was an underfunded team, but it was still an affiliate. But I expect him to win a race.
I think we'll see something out of Christopher Bell. Something.
I think you'll, in my opinion, I think you'll see a mirror type season.
Yeah.
Matt DiBenedetto, since he's going to be taking over the Levine family racing car. I don't think you'll see him win, but I think you'll see him get top 5s, top 10s.
Out of everyone who's getting screwed out, though, the odd man out so far, Daniel Suarez.
It's black and white, man.
Yeah.
He hadn't produced. He did not produce what everyone thought he was going to be.
His amigos are gonna have to find somewhere else to go.
Gonna have to find somewhere else to go. Absolutely. He had a couple top 5s, I believe. I don't know his exact numbers, but it's a little sketchy when you go from Gibbs, you go to Stewart Haas, and then you don't have, like, when you have like that big of a switch, like within a couple years, like you're not producing, and he's not producing what people expect him. I don't know his plans. I don't know. Maybe he needs to go back to Xfinity. Just get a good ride there. But I don't see him in the Cup Series this year.
Yeah, it is. It is what it is. Oh well.
Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick in the number 8 RCR car. I think that's absolutely deserving. He's won the championship the last 2 years in the Xfinity Series. I feel like he deserves a Cup ride.
Yep.
Daniel Hemrick, I was a little curious about that. How that was like basically a 1-year deal over at RCR. I thought that was kind of odd. Usually when you got, someone like that, give me a year or two, basically 2 years, right? But basically,
is that about it for the new faces? Is that all we got for the silly season so far? I know something happened today at Stenhouse.
Stenhouse is going to the 47.
Yeah.
Chris Buescher going to RCR in the 17.
Yeah.
Which, I get it. Like, Buescher's very loyal to RCR in history past. He drove was it the 60 that he ran in the Xfinity Series where he won a championship?
I don't know.
I can't remember. I'm pretty sure he won a championship. But, I get that. Like, Stenhouse really hasn't done much other than restrictor plate races. But, I don't know. Like, it's kind of a goofy off season. Not a lot of huge faces.
Not a silly season,
but
a goofy season.
It's amazing that Johnson, I think that was the biggest thing as far as announcements, obviously, was Johnson retiring after 2020. So. Well,
it was a good season, and now there's a lot of stuff we're going to be looking into going into the next season. And it hasn't even started yet, and it's looking pretty good so far. And it's only been a couple weeks. So.
Yep, and new season's going to be here before you know it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. And there's still talk and other stuff going on. About more recently the last week. Just some newer news. There was some talk about them racing on street courses eventually, potentially. And then not only that, apparently the Xfinity Series finish was thrown. So there's an intentional. So they manipulated the finish at Homestead Miami Speedway, Brickware Racing, Inspire Motorsports, and Premium Motorsports.
Yeah,
they were
that
all
was
fined.
Charter team, or Charter Spot, I should say.
Something like that. Yeah. But so going into this was just the last couple days, the street course thing. So Sports Business Journal, which is a known. So a journalist went up to these people and asked them this. So we're just going off that. The racing series is considering adding temporary tracks in city centers or sports stadium parking lots to the season. So kind of similar to how F1 wants to do it in Miami. They want to kind of like make a bit of a hybrid track out of a Target parking lot and the areas surrounding and the stadium out in Miami. There's also many other places that they could do it with, like in Toronto or Long Beach, California, or Detroit. Maybe do a doubleheader with IndyCar. And these are apparently they haven't commented on this specific report from the Business Journal thing, but President Steve Phelps did say at a press conference just last week that they're having discussions right now on the 2021 schedule, and they're looking at three things that they're looking at that race schedule, and they're looking at making some considerable amount of changes, multiple changes for the schedule when they do the new next-gen car. There's going to be a few different races potentially dropped from the schedule, the traditional schedule that we've been used to for all these many years. So that's going to be interesting. That was only posted a week ago, so we're going to see some more news on that. I'd like to see some more street course racing. They just to change up the market, kind of thing.
I think everyone wants road course racing in short tracks. Short tracks can produce, it's like your typical home track.
No one wants more plate tracks, though. Everyone's fine with the super speedways.
The speedways is fine.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think the dirt talk has died down.
Since the truck series is kind of that gets that tickles everyone's fancy, basically.
Yeah, I mean, don't do a cup race on the dirt. That's
even I'd see that that's possible.
I mean, it would be possible. Everyone loves road courses. Everyone loves short tracks. There's so many mile and a halves on the schedule. I could get it. See the same guys win mile and a halves. If the guy is good at Las Vegas, it's mile and a half. They're going to be just probably about as good as at Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty. They call it cookie cutter for a reason, because it's the same old. It's the same. I get it. I get why people don't want to do.
It's nice for a change.
Obviously, they'd rather choose short tracks over mile and a halves. I get it, but I mean, I don't know. There's plenty of short tracks they can race at that aren't NASCAR sanctioned that they could race at, but it's at the end of the day, it's the highest bidder. Who can produce?
That's another thing too. Yeah,
can produce the biggest revenue. It's all about money. It really is. And if they can produce a street road course race, great. That'd be great. I think people would like that. It's something different. That's the thing. It's different.
If they do a doubleheader with IndyCar for a street course race, they could potentially bring a pretty big crowd out. It'd be a busy place though, because at the Honda Indy that I went to this year, it was packed the Sunday, but it really wasn't packed the Saturday while the Penny Series was racing there. So I wonder if they were to separate it in 2 different days, if it would just be like your typical NASCAR. But there's a lot less seats at a street course, and it looks a lot more fuller because there's certain sections that just have 1,000 or 2,000 seats available, and then spread that around the track each turn. There's 14 turns. You're only going to have 15, 20,000 seat capacity, which I'm sure NASCAR could fill up at any of those potential street courses, even in Toronto, even in Canada. And that'd be cool to see them do that. Obviously, maybe Canadian, but seeing them come up here for that market, because there's already a street course made. NASCAR doesn't have to go out of their way to construct the course. The course has already been constructed. I'm sure they'd have to chip in if they're going to be using it, but I think something like that would be a good idea. They don't have to, especially in a doubleheader weekend. The track's already going to be made.
Yeah, but obviously they're going to have to pour some money into it somehow. But
but that's it's only fair, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, but you look at it, and it's really about economics. Like, I mean, like we talked about, money's the biggest thing here. Obviously, let's calling the kettle black. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, we're not going to go to a short track and
make millions of dollars.
Yeah, we're not going to go to a short track that has
we'll make millions, but hundreds of millions.
Something stupid like that. Just an example. I mean, you got to look at where popularity is. There's just a lot of things that go into it. Like, there's a reason probably why Las Vegas has 2 races now is because you get a lot of tourists.
It's convenient. And it's right by the Strip.
People hear about it. It's like, we're gonna go to Vegas in September. It's like, there's a race there. Let's check it out.
Same thing with Daytona or. Is that it? What other tourist destinations? Like.
As far as NASCAR goes,
yeah, that's probably it, isn't it?
Daytona, and I mean, you get your Daytona, Las Vegas is Florida, and obviously Phoenix is selling out. I mean, but people know, like, there's people that know the ins and outs of NASCAR. Like, they know that's going to be the second to last race of the season. Yeah, okay, let's go to that.
And actually, there might be enough people in the Midwest area that they could actually pull up enough people together over the surrounding areas. Might have to drive a couple hours, but they'll do it.
I think it's I can't say prestigious events, because look at Indy. Like, look how little amount of people have gone to those races within the last couple of years. Like, that place used to get sold out. But, I mean, I don't know. I think there's a lot of combinations to different, to the economics of NASCAR. Like,
yeah.
Obviously, Homestead gets sold out because it's the championship race, right? And Phoenix is going to sell out next year, I guarantee it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
The championship race. Like, you non-fans that have money, like, they hear about it, and it's like, oh, yeah, we're going to be in Homestead or whatever. Why not go to that race?
Yeah.
Like, something to do.
So that's something that'll definitely be if they're going to do this street course thing, and they're talking about double headers in other races, and there's also the rumors about the double header with IndyCar, that could also bring in other fans from other, not only just tourists and people that are already dedicated NASCAR fans and whatever, but it could also bring in people from other markets as well.
Yeah, I mean, for instance, when I went to the truck race a couple of years ago in
the
Vegas,
IndyCar and truck race weekend.
Yeah, when it was a standalone truck series race, it was trucks, and then that night they ran Global Rallycross.
Right, which people stick around, right?
Which I thought was amazing, but I also heard, like, and it was a problem, but people left because it took so long between stages of the Global Rallycross. But
they got to change up the track and stuff or whatever,
because they had to, like, they had cars getting repaired and all that
whatever,
stuff.
Yeah.
And, like, if you missed a restart, like, they had to restart the field or something like that, something silly like that. But like, I stayed and watched that and I loved it. But you get some of these fans.
When I saw the stadium super trucks at the Honda Indy, that was the highlight of the weekend for me. Seeing Robbie Gordon race around in a super truck and go off jumps and stuff.
I mean, there you go. At the end of the day, it's about the names that are
too.
Good.
Yeah.
Like that time that I saw the Global Rallycross, it was Tanner Faust, it was Strauss, Cam Block. Like those guys, like big household names. Like that's what's going to bring. Like, you know, no one's, you know, I mean, you got to start somewhere, but like no one's going to go to, you know, an unknown name band or something like that. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I mean, you got to have something to draw in the crowd, so to speak. But obviously, it must not have worked financially for. I mean, well, we know what happened with IndyCar that weekend.
Well, with Roger Penske taking over IndyCar.
I mean, he's going to look out for NASCAR and IndyCar.
But the weekend you were there for that what's his face in IndyCar? Weldon. Yeah.
And,
you left the day before that.
I wanted to stay for the IndyCar race just to say that I went to an IndyCar race, and me and my buddy,
I know what that's like.
we decided to go back home the next day instead of staying. But Dan Weldon died at Las Vegas there in turn 1, turn 2, middle of the track there. But obviously that was the last time that IndyCar participate there. But too fast for track for those cars. Fortunate that worked out. I think you could have possibly seen a truck series, and I said that kind of ended the chance of it being a doubleheader, the trucks and Indy.
Oh, you're cutting out again. Right when you talk about, it's like they're trying to shut you down. It's like that could be the last about the trucks and the.
No, I'm just saying that was there could have been a possibility of there being future doubleheaders with the trucks and the IndyCar series, but obviously the IndyCar didn't want to go back after Dan Weldon passed away tragically.
Well, I think now that Roger Penske owns and is in charge, it will probably maybe instead of this, we'll see maybe them use the Roval on Indy, or something. I don't know how accurate this. Again, this was just a report from the Sports Business Journal. I could have just been a Joe Blow like me, just going up to somebody too, and there's your info. But that'd be interesting to see a double header of some form, or specifically at a street course. I don't know if you've been to a street course race, but it's pretty cool because the NASCAR 50 Series runs on the streets of Toronto, and it's pretty cool. You don't see much though. It's just like a road course. That's the thing. You see it once every minute. It goes by you every minute. That's
like I said earlier, Roger Penske is a businessman.
Mm-hmm. Smart man.
He's got a team in NASCAR. He's got rental companies.
He's got team in everything. Yeah, he has multiple.
Outside of the U.S. But he's going to look out for his businesses, and if it makes sense to have a Cup Series race and a IndyCar race at a certain track on the weekend, then he's going to do it.
Yeah.
So
other things, and this is we'll leave off on this one. I'll clear my throat here. Jeez. The UPS truck.
We've been looking for times.
Yeah. Dale Jarrett's UPS truck up for sale. It has been listed on, I believe, eBay, and the bid starts on the 4th, and it's starting at $1. And this thing has 300,000 miles to it.
But yeah.
What's that?
But it's going to get a little bit higher than that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, that's just the minimum.
Yeah.
You can set it to whatever minimum you want, right? But it was used in some commercials for Dale Jarrett and his sponsorship with UPS back in the day. It is actually it has a roll cage in it, TRD racing engine, racing specific shock and spring package, custom transmission, and racing seats and race gauges. And it's also set up for NOS injection. So, and there's also a fire suppression system installed, so if things go up in flames, you're safe. All starting at $1. How much would you put down for that?
How much do I think it's going to go for?
How much would you buy that truck? How much would you put down on it?
Well, at this point in time, I can only put about $10 down. But
okay. How much do you think it's going to go for, though?
I think it's going to go for a couple $100,000.
Okay.
I'd say $700,000.
I think it'll go for under 100,000 grand.
Think so, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know. Who knows?
100,000 grand.
Yeah, well, I guess if it went like Bear Jackson's or something like that, it would have been a couple $100,000. But if it's going on eBay, then who knows? Who knows what happens?
But yeah, that's I don't know. I don't know what else we've missed here. We've almost scratched the surface on everything. Oh,
yeah,
NASCAR Gainers Outdoor Truck Series. They'll have a new name in 2020, but it's just going to be the RV and Outdoors Truck Series. Yeah, so there's just a slight branding change. That's the only thing we missed, though. Oh no, and the plan of action of the protest of the Daytona 500 group, anti-Daytona. They want to climb the fence at the end of the first stage and sit on the track. And they're mad that NASCAR has such a large carbon footprint.
That's not going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen. It's not going to end very well. We saw the internet react, comparing Rex and Busch, or more like comparing Kyle Busch to Rex and Busch. There's a video going around where I haven't even watched it, to be honest. I just hate it so much. He lost racing, I guess, and he cried like a little baby. And they said, "Oh, father like son." That happened. Not trying to hate on Kyle Busch, but that happened. But yeah, that's it. That's all we got for. And it's only been a couple weeks since the season ended, and this was the CKMS Wide World of Motorsports 2019 season review, 2020 season preview, and we've been going an hour and a half now. So what I think we should do is we should play a few songs, and then we'll sign off. We'll say a couple last words. What do you got on mind? What's the top of your head right now? What do you want to request?
It's a good question. How many songs can I request?
We got half an hour.
Half an hour, huh?
25 minutes to half an hour.
So, I'll give you 3 songs. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Let's do Speed by Billy Idol.
Okay.
Let's do Fuel by Metallica.
Okay.
Let's do Sweet Home Alabama by Lynyrd Skynyrd.
Okay, that sounds pretty good. We'll put those up on deck, and then we'll have a couple last words before we head on out. You're listening to CKMS Wide World of Motorsports right here on 102.7 Radio Waterloo. And we're just listening to some awesome music here on CKMS Wide World of Motorsports. We at least all kicked it off with Joe's requests, Billy Idol, Speed, and we played Fuel, the NASCAR on NBC version. And when we played Sweet Home Alabama by Lynyrd Skynyrd. And the last couple of selections there we had played was Straight to Hell, a new song from Ozzy Osbourne with Slash on guitar. And then Tom Petty, I Won't Back Down. And to end it off, of course, with gotta end it off with Joe's favorite brand, Green Day, with the song Father of All and Basket Case, which was performed a couple of weeks ago live at the MTV EMA Awards. Part of our special edition here of CKMS Wide World of Motorsports, our 2019 season in review and 2020 season preview.
Great NASCAR tunes.
Yep, some good racing tunes for everyone's Mondays here. And then we talked in length about a lot of stuff. We wrapped it up. We talked about the whole season. We talked about the next season. You can check that whole podcast out. This podcast is going to be on YouTube, our YouTube page, CKMS Wide World of Motorsports. It's going to be premiering at 5 p.m. today. So if you missed it on the FM, you can hear it there. It's going to be on demand there, so you'll always be able to hear it there. So yeah, that's great. So we were talking about potentially predicting some champions here, or at least some mentionable names for next year.
First off, I got to say, great show. That was
it was a good show. Thanks for calling in.
It's one of the most fun moments I ever had.
So deep. We went deep into the season.
Deep. That's good stuff right there, for sure.
I think that for anyone who would still like to follow us in the off season, we're gonna have probably a couple more episodes. I think maybe we'll get Joe here to call in for those episodes. We'll probably do another one for sure the first week of January, and then the last week of January, and then we'll start back off in February for every other week, and of course for any special episode throughout the week. It's gonna be a big season coming up. The NASCAR Pinty Series announces they're gonna be racing on dirt. And Joe, I'm gonna see my first dirt race there. I'm excited. My first NASCAR dirt race. It's gonna be on a Tuesday night though, so make sure you book that day off. I believe it's like August 6th or something like that. It's gonna be very cool. The NASCAR Pinty Series season in review. You can check that out on TSN in Canada, and I believe that'll probably also be available throughout YouTube, that season review as well, if you're outside of Canada. So you'll be able to check that out on the NASCAR Pinty Series YouTube page. They did get a pretty good year in review, so just check theirs out instead. But yeah, nonetheless, just one more time, I'd like to thank the tracks, the drivers, and all the people that we collabed with, we worked with throughout the season. Means a lot to me to be able to have this opportunity. So once again, thank you very much to Jacasa, Toronto Honda Indy, Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, and of course, as I had mentioned, any other driver and guest. So yeah, make sure you follow us on our Facebook and Twitter page at CKMS WWOM. We'll have we're going to probably start a countdown, a weekly countdown. I think it's easier every Sunday to go by. So I think there's going to be, let's actually look at the calendar right now. So there's going to probably be maybe about 8 or 9 more Sundays until the next season starts. So stay tuned to our pages there. We're going to have lots of updates and whatever else comes up. From now on, for this winter season, for the end of 2019, and for next month, the Underground Sound Project Master Sounds will be in this time slot between 2 to 4 p.m. right here on www.radiowaterloo.ca/listen, or Rogers Digital Cable Channel 946 in Southern Ontario, or 102.7 on the FM dial in the Waterloo region. That is it for the working man and the working woman. There is no opposition to the genius switch. Love, peace, and soul. That is the bottom line. We'll see you down the road, folks.
Like what you hear? Why not drop a line at www.radiowaterloo.ca? Or if you would like to request a song, check out Radio Waterloo on Facebook and Twitter. Or call us at 519-884-2567. You are listening to the new 102.7 CKMS FM.
man.
What's got you down there, DJ Denim?
I'm totally bummed. I never got accepted into my broadcasting program.
Aw, buddy, that sucks to hear. Why not?
Just applied a little too late this year, you know?
Yeah, man, I hear ya. But sometimes life can get bad. But it's not always bad, because here at CKMS, we can help you out.
Really? That'd be awesome.
Yes, of course, really. We've been serving the community for the past 40 years. That's how long we've been providing a voice for folks like you in our community. Just check out radiowaterloo.ca and click on the Start a Show tab.
Well, thank you, Radio Waterloo. CKMS FM. Rockin' Waterloo.
After a night out with your friends, there are always options for getting home safely. You could call your BFF, your mom or dad, whoever you can count on for a safe ride home. You could call your favorite cab company or 1-888 taxi guy. Or you could use the Arrive Alive smartphone app to help you choose your ride. Be it a friend, transit or taxi, getting home safely is app easy. Now available for iOS and Android devices. Visit arrivealive.org to find out more. Arrive Alive, drive sober.